What's your favorite order at Waffle House, Brez?
You got to go with the. I don't really have a favorite order. I go once a year when I'm in the Midwest.
Interesting.
Probably the. You know what I did once at a Waffle House? I was in Tucson for a bowl game, and I ordered on the whiteboard. They had a little special, the raisin waffle. I said, "Oh, great! I'm up for this. It's quick." So we got the raisin waffle, and they delivered it. And you look at it, and you're like, all the raisins are kind of centered in the middle of this giant waffle. And then you take a closer look at it, and you see that what they've done at this particular Waffle House.
I'm sorry. What do you, like raisins?
Raisin waffle. Yeah, we need something fast.
Okay.
We were in a hurry to get to a bowl game.
Okay. Why though? Why would you do that personally?
It's like,
did you say? Oh, that sounds great.
What's the fastest thing you can do for us? We got to get to a bowl game. Wisconsin's playing.
The raisin
Utah.
waffle's not the fastest thing.
Raisin
Brett.
waffle.
How about sausage on there?
Fastest thing they can do. Great. We'll take it. It's your special. Let's go.
Brett's pissed, dude.
But the raisins are all centered in the middle of the waffle. You're ruining my story. Hold on a second. Raisins are centered in the middle of this giant waffle. And what they did was they took a piece of raisin toast, they poured waffle batter around it, and they smashed it all together.
Like the cinnamon raisin swirl bread?
Yes. Yep.
No way.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah, right?
Very clever.
Well, it didn't taste very good. So
Yeah.
we ended up going to the bowl game.
What a shocker.
Yeah, we ended up going to the bowl game starving, eating like stadium food, which is always, yeah. So I would not recommend the raisin toast, the raisin waffle, which at this particular one was raisin toast with waffle batter poured around it.
Do you know what a raisin makes me think of?
What?
Shriveled up. What? Grapes?
For another podcast. Having said that, I grew up in the Midwest.
Brez is a foodie,
Yeah.
and I usually trust his knowledge of restaurants. He's pointed me in the right direction many times, but I'm so confused at what just happened right there and why he, out of all the things that the Waffle House,
It was a bad order.
he went with the raisin. He panicked, 100% panicked, and went with a raisin. Like, don't ever do that.
Yeah.
You would never. Are you a waffle or pancake guy? I wouldn't even put a raisin in a
At
pancake.
Keaty's in Palm Desert, I'm going pancakes 100%. If I'm at Martha's in Hermosa, going pancakes. But there are some places where you go waffle all time. So you just got to, it depends on what their specialty is.
Yeah.
Bottom line, that's me saying I could go both.
You could go both.
Yeah.
Uncle Bill's Pancake House, Manhattan Beach, you got to get pancakes. You got to stick with what the name of the place is. And you don't always necessarily have to go with whatever people say is the fastest and the easiest. The mistake we made in lovely Tucson,
Why
Arizona.
did you think that would be the fastest and easiest? Because it was on the whiteboard?
Yeah, well, okay, we got to go. What can you make for us quickly? Oh, we're serving a lot of the raisin waffles today. It's the top of the whiteboard. Terrific. We'll take 4 of them. So all 4 of us realized the mistake we had made.
Yeah. Dude.
But I keep going back.
Wow.
Yeah, when I'm in the Midwest, not a lot of waffle
So that's
houses.
the last thing you've had there, is that? Or if you had something different
No,
since?
when I was at the Indy 500 a couple years ago, big traditional breakfast there.
Okay, good.
Yeah, eggs.
All right, you're off the
pancakes.
For those of you that may be just tuning in on the audio side, the reason why we started the podcast with what your favorite order at
really
Waffle House
confused.
is because Brez is wearing a Waffle House sweatshirt.
One of my favorite hoodies.
Yeah.
Yeah. I really should wear it more often.
Speaking of adversity, Geeter, I think the Lakers are on the other side of it. However,
Are they?
there's a lot of adversity, or shall we say chaos, in the Western Conference.
Yes.
Because I can't stand to hear, read, see, or just think about the fact that the Lakers are still in 9th after how amazing and incredible they've been playing for the last couple of months.
Let me give you some numbers.
Please.
I just have to think about them for a second. The Lakers have the tied for third best record in the NBA since February 1st. There's 30 teams in the NBA. Over a 2-month, 2-day period, they are third best record. Okay, they have the third best record. They went 5-1 on the road trip. They've won 8 of 9, and they are stuck in the 9th spot. So it is very frustrating.
At 11 games over 500.
They are 11 games over 500. I mean, listen, the Warriors are like 10 games over 500, and they're in 10th place. They're only like 11 games back of Denver. It's not like the West is separated, but everyone, like the Clippers have 3 more wins than the Lakers. 3 more wins than the Lakers. They are in 4th comfortably. Like, it's crazy just how packed it is. And, I keep going back to this. 3-10 after the in-season tournament. Put this team where they are because they haven't been able to make up much ground. And there was a chance, and I remember us sitting here doing the podcast, this is the chance to make up ground. January. They went 7-8. So that's why you're here. It's the reality. But the Lakers are playing good basketball, so you have to keep going back to that. They're a good team.
It is
They're a good team.
April 4th. And since January 15th, which is a 36-game span, they have been the 9th or 10th seed.
Wow.
For how long?
Since January 15th.
That's insane. And think about, so third best record didn't move you up at all. Not even for a second. I think they were for one day they might have moved up to like a tie for and then moved back, if I recall. Brez, do you ever ask yourself if they had this starting lineup from day one?
Oh, yeah.
Where would they be?
Exactly.
Obviously, there were injuries that played into this, but those guys were all healthy day one. I know. And listen, Rui missed 15 games in that first half of the season. That's actually a lot of games in the first 41 or 42 games. If my numbers are correct or my math's correct, I'm doing this off the top of my head, so bear with me. But where would they be? I don't know. But you have to wonder where they would be.
Yeah, Darvin officially put Rui in the starting lineup for good 2 months ago on February 3rd. Since that day, this team has absolutely taken off. There's been some weird losses, sure. I mean, they weren't flawless on the road trip. Scored only 90 whatever in Indiana. I had a problem closing.
But in the NBA, Brez, it happens.
For sure.
I mean, yeah.
And it was weird. The closing against Washington, all of a sudden the starters are rushing back in.
That was wild.
That was unbelievable. So they weren't flawless, but they're playing really good basketball. Yeah. The problem for them is exactly what you're saying, Geet. It's a logjam. And it's just bad luck for the Lakers because a year ago, if they had this record, they'd be 4th in the West.
Yeah.
I mean, it's unbelievable.
Yeah, 23-11 now since Rui's been in the starting lineup
there
versus 14-15 when he was not.
Huge part of it. And would he be in the starting lineup if Jared Vanderbilt hadn't gotten hurt the previous game? Because he got hurt in Boston. Very next game, Rui's in the starting lineup.
I always go back to where would the season be if Vando didn't start the year hurt? Is that what changed the thought process in our lineup? Would it have been different? Do you start with Vando because that's who started last year? So I don't know. These questions will never be answered. But it's hard when you're in the 9th spot to not go over that kind of stuff.
How different just in general from the most recent time of how big those games against the Sacramento Kings were, and you were up 18 in the first of 2 when they were so big. Had they won that one.
And by the way, got smoked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
After being up.
Yeah, you're talking
18.
about the one that was kind of recent.
The one here in LA. Yeah.
After All-Star break. That was
because there's still a chance, right? To be.
Oh, you were right there with them.
Yeah.